Texarkana Game Day live from the Star, man. It's state semifinals. We got head coach Josh Gibson with us. We know you're on a tight schedule, so let's make this quick. Tell me about this week and just the atmosphere you've had around the school.
Yeah, you know, first thing is we got to tip our hat and let the kids have some fun after a big win last week. They earned it. It was a stressful week, you know, playing Gilmer for the second time, and we handled that week in unbelievable fashion. And then we gave that about 5 minutes, and it was time to get focused and start pressing again and growing. And really probably had the best week of the season on Monday and Tuesday, a physical practice. Our defense looked the best it's looked all year. And we're big believers in you reap what you sow, so we're hoping that shows here tonight on game night.
I know y'all are the hardest working team in the state of Texas. And what is Midland Greenwood going to see from y'all tonight? Normal Hawks football?
Yeah, I think they will. I think we have to play our brand, really physical football, where we go out there and play as hard as we possibly can, and we do it together. And I think we're going to get that from them too. I mean, I think they have some belief rolling in their program right now. They're extremely well coached, and they're undefeated for a reason. So I think we're going to see a really big battle right there at the start of the game, kind of like we had last week.
Well, Coach, tell us about some of the accolades that the team got, and one in particular, one that you received from UIL this week.
Well, we did all district meeting yesterday. These days are run together. It seems like it's been a little bit, and we can't release it, until the last team from our district's done playing. So hopefully that's next week. But we're pretty fired up that we had a lot of kids represented really well on that deal. And we got a UIL award for excellence, but that comes when you got great coaches and great players and you do well. Yeah. Anytime somebody gets an individual award in football, it's because they had a great unit around them, and that was the case there.
Coach, man, we know you got to roll. Best of luck tonight. Let's do this. Let's take a real quick break. We'll come back with Superintendent Pirtle.
All right, man.
Find yourself in need of emergency care, come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are locally owned with board-certified physicians for all your emergencies. We accept all private insurance. At Texarkana Emergency Center, we have on-site lab, pharmacy, x-ray, ultrasound, and CT. Come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. Real ER without the wait. The next generation of emergency care.
We are back at the Star here in Frisco, Texas with Jay Davis, Superintendent Chad Pirtle, alongside Tony Langford. My name is Craig Jenkins for Texarkana Game Day. Mr. Pirtle, another week, another round of the playoffs. I know we asked you last week, but what's the week been like for you guys over at Pleasant Grove?
You know, it's been a great week. We've had it's really, really busy this time of year in the school district. You have finals next week and a lot of things going on in the classroom, but we got some really exciting news earlier this week on Coach Gibson. He was, we nominated him for the UIL Sponsor of Excellence Award, and we were notified on Tuesday that he was a winner of that award. And then on Thursday we had a community pep rally at the high school, and recognized him, kind of surprised him. We put a video together with you guys. You guys helped us put a video together. If you haven't seen it, go to Texarkana Game Day and find that video. But just the opportunity to celebrate Coach Gibson, but not just Coach Gibson, but the whole coaching staff and what they do for these kids. It's not, and the kids will tell you, and they did tell you in the video, it's not always about wins and losses with Coach Gibson. It's about developing young men, and that's what you see out here whenever the going gets tough. Those guys have been developed to just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, and that's just a mindset, and that's a belief, and that's a bond that is pretty special with a Josh Gibson coach team.
Yes, sir.
Well, going into this last week, I was trying to pay attention to all the things that we were getting recognized for, and about Wednesday this week, I started forgetting more than I was seeing, as far as some of the accolades that the band was getting, and then you've got our basketball teams out there, getting their W's in. Just tell us about how our kids are progressing, not just on the football field.
You know, one of the things that struck me just last night, our band, I was thinking about it. They've been to at least as many football games as any other band in the state of Texas over the last 3 years, playing in state championship, and state semifinal. Nobody has the opportunity to play at more games than the Pride in Motion band. And I was thinking about last night they had their Christmas concert, and thinking about marching season and how busy that is for those kids. And then thinking about getting ready for the Christmas program and how busy that must be, on top of traveling a couple hours every Friday night to play and support our Pleasant Grove Hawks. So our band they are a very, very hard-working group of students and directors, and I'm really proud. And our showstoppers too, cheerleaders, they're all kind of in that category. But Christmas concert was wonderful last night, from the middle school all the way up to the high school, and just salute to all, not just the football team, but all of our students that are involved, and really our community too. We know they're going to turn out tonight. There's already a lot of people, and there were a lot of people in line whenever I came in, whenever they opened the doors.
Well, and just from a personal standpoint, we've got 30 girls in the drill team, 100 on the band, about 100 on the football team, and probably half of them had the ACT test tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, just all that they carry and are still able to perform at this high level of excellence is just so impressive. I mean, you take it to the Christmas concert, knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just impressive what we see our kids do each and every week.
That'll be first thing in the morning too.
Yes.
And I will tell you, Texarkana, just Texarkana in general, does a great job of providing opportunities. And I want to brag on a lot of our showstoppers, because we went down and saw the Nutcracker just last weekend, and Chloe Cross and a number of our showstoppers are in the Nutcracker. And I started thinking at the pep rally yesterday, Chloe Cross is doing a new routine out there, and I was like, how many dance routines does she know? I mean, a lot, a lot. And how you remember all those, I don't know about your dancing skills, but I know I would struggle with more than about one dance,
I just don't do it. And we appreciate that.
You spoke to some of the accolades that the coach received and the players received on field. You want to take a second to talk to the character of the kids off the field as well?
And Todd Marshall, he'll talk to this too, but I mentioned it before. One of the things that was most impressive to me is after lunch, these kids, the football players, they're the ones picking up, making sure that cafeteria is right. And just when you talk to them, my first day in Pleasant Grove, I come by and meet with athletics, and they're in the weight room, and Coach Gibson, he knew I was coming by and kind of scheduled that. And well, who do I meet? I talked to Coach Gibson for about 1 minute, and he said, hey, I have some guys out here in the hallway that I want you to talk to. And he takes me to Ben Harmon and Jackson Cobb, and they tell me about the program and what they're about, what they believe in, and what, their values. And it was so impressive, and it's not just Ben and Jackson. I believe all these kids out here could have had that conversation with the new superintendent of the school district. And Coach Gibson gives them those opportunities to be the leaders and to practice those skills. So when they go to college or they have their own job supporting their family, it's not a big deal to talk to somebody. They can come up and make the conversation happen. And so that's just more of the development and how these kids are being developed in this athletic program and in Pleasant Grove High School.
Well, just the fact that they can come and talk to us after the games, win or lose, and tell us about their feelings. And, of course, we've seen that progression from week one till now.
Sure.
But we've gotten better
in all of us.
Yeah, we've gotten better as well, or at least I hope so. But, I mean, that's what's impressive to me. And we're not just seeing certain kids. I mean, the coach has allowed every kid, if we need to pull one, we've got access to them. And so that's just kudos to the team preparing those kids to be able to handle that.
And Coach Gibson and his staff, they work on that. and they work on developing their kids and teach them how to interview and what to say and what not to say, but that's more of the development of the child, of the student athlete out there, and it's just an experience that a lot of high school kids don't get to experience, and it's pretty special. And just again, I'm so thankful that Texarkana Game Day is here and a partner with Pleasant Grove ISD, and how you tell the good story. Y'all were at Pewitt the other day, telling the good story, and they have a great thing going on over there.
It was fun going down to Paul Pewitt.
You know,
and
but you tell the good story, and that's what people want to hear. They want to see success. I promise you, the people in Texarkana, they want to see success. They don't want to hear about the bad stuff or the things that aren't going so well. And so, anyway, I'm thankful that you guys are here highlighting our kids and our programs and our schools.
I just want to say I think it's great being able to come around and see the coaches not only coaching these kids in football, but it really is coaching them at the next step after football, and coaching them on life, and that's just a great thing to see.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your first year with Pleasant Grove?
Yes, sir. March 26th was my first day in Pleasant Grove.
So I just want to ask you, how has it been seeing these young men, since they came off that loss last year, pick up and start working towards the goal of returning to state again this year? It's been impressive to get better each week.
I wasn't here in December when that happened, but I believe what I would have seen is those guys pull up, getting back in the game, and January rolls around and they're focused on the next one. I don't think you see a lot of sulking and feeling sorry for yourself, because that's not what this program is about. Coach Gibson and his coaching staff, you just don't see that. They don't believe in that. That's not how you win. That's not how you build people. And then you also have guys like Ben Harmon and some of the leaders, that senior class, the most successful senior class in the history of, as far as football is concerned, the history of Pleasant Grove ISD, who started as 7th graders and have learned how to overcome adversity with this coaching staff year over year over year. And now that 7th grade class that was here, Coach Gibson's first year, they're seniors this year, and the growth and development, and it's not just on the field. And I think that's a big reason Coach Gibson won that Sponsor of Excellence Award, because it's not just about on the field. He truly cares, and I know you've seen it and been around him, but he has such a passion for those kids, the relationships with those kids. It's just magical. It is just magical. I mean,
I think over the last 4 years, I think they're like 43-7, and I mean that's averaging more than 10 wins a season. I mean, that's just impressive.
And that's getting punched in the mouth and getting back up and going and going and making the play.
I remember the days it wasn't like that, and I mean, it is fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a great, like I said, it's a great thing to see when you see a coach take these kids and just put it in their head that they can be great, and that's exactly what he's done with these kids.
Yeah.
Like I said, they came off of that loss, they put it away, and it's just been building and stepping stone each week to get back here, and it's been good to see.
And we talk about Coach Gibson, and he gets a lot of the accolades, but he has a really good coaching staff.
Yes.
And you guys have spent time with them. These guys know what they're doing. They know how to develop kids too. I mean, Coach Gibson deserves everything he gets.
I tell my guys all the time that I'm only as good as the people underneath me.
And Coach Gibson will be the first one to tell you that too, because we have a special coaching staff. Speaking of that, I want to give out a shout out to Coach Walker, who is getting prepared to play for the Tampa Bay Vipers in the XFL.
Awesome.
And Coach Walker, if you're watching, we're thinking about you. And
congratulations.
And we know you're here in heart, and we can go out and try to get a win for you tonight.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Go Hawks.
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, handcrafted stone is our passion, and we ensure our customers receive the quality they deserve. We stand by our word, we stand by our products, services, and work that we do. Our team of experienced craftsmen and product experts have been perfecting their craft of fabricating and installing stone since 1998. Visit the Design Center at Red River Lumber to see the many beautiful stone options available for your next project.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire good people. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills for the right jobs. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
Texarkana Game Day, we are back at the Star. We are now joined by Todd Marshall. Mr. Marshall, what are you expecting to see here today?
The same thing I've seen the last 2 times we've played here. Another Hawk win. Exciting though it is, 5th round of the playoffs, the state semifinals, playing an undefeated Midland Greenwood team who's coming in very confident, undefeated. So I'm looking for a very physical game. I know how hard our guys are prepared. I know what Coach Gibson has preached to these guys since this time last year, and that is to go out there and be physical, leave it all on the field, and fight to stay with each other one more week, fight for the brotherhood to stay together one more week and have another week together. So, but I'm expecting our Hawks to come out, play hard, and take care of business in a good old-fashioned football game, East versus West.
Well, I asked Mr. Pirtle earlier, how was it being around a program that's making those steps necessary to get back into that state playoff game again? You know, I've told several people this, and I've said it on here, the way our football players, our student athletes just carry themselves day in and day out. And I'm not talking about just on Fridays. I'm talking about since last January, just the preparation they've put in off season. And then August 12th, our first day of school this year, it's just been a different, I can't explain, just a different way and a different attitude with our guys, and they do the little things right. And I've heard Coach Gibson talk a lot about leaving no stone unturned, and these guys do that in the hallways. They're always on time. They're always sitting on the front row in class. They're always helping clean up. They're taking care of our school. They take pride in our building. They're leaders in the school, and you see that. And I know that is a direct. What you see out here on Friday nights for these time is definitely a reflection of that.
We talk about it each week, but we've got the band in place, showstoppers in place, the run-throughs blown up, the crowd showing up. I mean, this is our West Campus. I mean, tell us your feel on just the support from the community. Oh, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And what is so special, and it's been alluded to as well, these kids, it doesn't matter what program, or if you're in the band, or you're a showstopper, or you're a drill or a cheerleader or a football player, these kids, they support each other. They come out and support one another. When we have a band competition, they go and support each other there. We have a football game, obviously, here. They support one another because we are Pleasant Grove High School. We're all Hawks. And the community turnout, it's unbelievable. When seeing our kids interact with people after our home games, it's just so awesome to see the community hang around and support our kids and just love on them. And that is so evident every game, whether we play at home at Hawk Stadium, whether we play here or anywhere. It's a great turnout, and that community support has just been it's so critical and crucial, and it's just such a great experience that we have that at Pleasant Grove.
Mr. Marshall, what I'm hearing about is about Greenwood. They're a very well-coached team. I'm hearing they're real similar to Pleasant Grove. They run the ball a lot, have 2 great running backs. But I also know they're similar. They can also throw the ball when they have to, right, which, you know, that is a little harder to defend. Yes. Where do you think Pleasant Grove has the advantage, if any? Well, I think obviously the game, it's up front on the defensive line. And we all know that's where the games are won in the trenches. And it's just going to be who can control the line of scrimmage. And I know our guys, I know the ability we have up front, and I know the work effort we have up front. So I know if we can get a good pressure and a good push up front, as coaches say, we'll have a chance to make some good things happen. I will say that they have not been battle tested the way we have. I was looking at their schedule, and it's not in the same category.
Before we get out of here, we want to get you guys on the hot seat. We're going to need some predictions as to how do you think this game is going to play out for the Hawks. Go ahead, Mr. Marshall. I'm going to take the same. I'm 4-0 so far, so I'm going to plan on going 5-0 tonight and keep my job one more week. I'm picking the Hawks to come out tonight, win the state semifinal, and go on to represent Pleasant Grove ISD
East Texas in Region 2 next week in the state championship at AT&T Stadium.
Any prediction on that score? Let's get that seat hot. Give us the score.
Pleasant Grove scores more than Midland, excuse me.
Mr. Pirtle.
No score prediction here, but I've seen Pleasant Grove play. I know that Greenwood is a good football team.
I'm going to do it to you again, Mr. Pirtle.
Yes,
One
sir.
of the running backs have 11 yards of carry. We going to slow them down?
We will slow him down. I think he has about 2,700 yards this year too, so that's a big deal. And,
yes.
And that means he can get it done, and he knows how to get it done. It'll be fun to watch that defensive front and what Coach Fuller has dialed up for Greenwood, but it'll be a great game.
Good smash mouth game.
Like I've said each week, it's definitely going to take a complete team to even try to take down Pleasant Grove. They've got a great running back. They've got a decent receiver. But the way the Hawks secondary has played over the last couple of weeks, I think they're going to make those adjustments to slow that down. And then, like Todd Marshall say, the running back's facing one of the best defensive lines in high school football. So that's going to be huge in this game right here.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think this will be his second game of the season that he will not get 100 yards.
I agree. You know, they have a second running back that has nearly 9 yards of carry, and I don't think either one of them's going to get 100. I was looking at the size difference. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble with our line today, our defensive line.
Well, I imagine Coach Fuller is going to try to make them one-dimensional, and once we start knocking the quarterback around a little bit, it gets a little bit harder to move that ball down the field.
You can kind of see the intensity starting to pick up. We got a lot of fans filing in. Greenwood's loud right now. Hopefully the Hawks can simmer those guys down a little bit.
It'll be a great football game.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Yeah. We are back from the Frisco Stars. Craig Jenkins with Texarkana Game Day, joined with Jay Davis, Tony Langford. We now have Mike Roach of Texas 24/7. Tell us about this matchup we have here today.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back on.
Absolutely.
I feel like a regular guest now. It's my third of the season, so
we
really
got to have
excited.
that knowledge on here.
Yeah, I hope, God willing, you guys are, everything goes well tonight. You guys will be in AT&T next week,
Absolutely.
so maybe we can link up again. But tonight's game should be an awesome one. Midland Greenwood's kind of been a team that's come out of Region 1 that's not, wasn't really expected to, but they've got a high-flying offense, and then, of course, I think this is Pleasant Grove's. They've kind of earned that right to be the team that this is their time of year now. It's Carthage's time of year. It's Alito's time of year. This is now Pleasant Grove's time of year as well. So really interested to see how the styles conflict here because they're both really different styles.
I was going to ask you, they have an extremely good running back. He's fast. He's elusive. I looked on tape, follow those running backs. Do you think Pleasant Grove matches up good to be able to try to stop that run?
The biggest matchup to me is up front today because obviously Pleasant Grove has the advantage that not a lot of 4A teams ever have of having two top 50 guys in the country on your defensive line. That's really tough to beat, and so it's really going to be up to if Greenwood can contain guys like Landon Jackson, Marcus Burris, and then if they can contain those guys, you've still got other guys on this team that they may not be top 50 guys in the country. They're still really, really strong high school football players. Torrey's great. There's a lot of guys that can make those plays. So I think for me, that's where everything breaks down. And to me, the depth on the Pleasant Grove side is I think, a little too much depth and size up front.
I noticed that they had a slim, tall receiver in Buddy Ray. Great hands. But the thing that I've noticed about Pleasant Grove, it seems like each week they've started to get better in the secondary. Mm-hmm. How do you expect that matchup to kind of play out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had a really strong week last week. They saw some big receivers for Gilmer, handled that just well. I think the front seven obviously plays into that as well. You know, if those guys are getting pressure on the quarterback, it makes the secondary's job a lot easier. I think, the name of the game tonight is they may give up some big plays defensively, but I think what Coach Gibson's going to want to do is control the clock, run the ball, play defense, and kind of grind it out the Pleasant Grove way. And so that's kind of how I expect it to go down.
Schedule-wise, I know they played Estacado and then last week Iowa Park. How do you feel those teams match up with some of the teams that Texarkana Pleasant Grove has played over the past few weeks?
I think no one would argue with you that coming out of East Texas is a lot more difficult than coming out of West Texas. Now, I think that a lot of those teams do present some specific challenges schematically. I think Iowa Park would be up there, which you guys know Pleasant Grove saw them this time last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or that might have been Pittsburgh. I get them all confused. But, I think that there are some schematic challenges, but I think that the pound for pound, by and by, the tougher brand of football is played out east.
Another team. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I noticed just looking at stats, they have 37 turnovers their defense has caused this year. And so I'm just, that's one of the things that I'm going to be looking at is Pleasant Grove going to turn it over tonight, because those can be some big things. And if they do break off some of those big plays, how's that going to impact that first, punch in the mouth? And so, do you know anything more about how they're able to get those turnovers, or is it they're just man on the ball?
Well coached, I think. I think that that's a lot of turnovers is a lot of luck. It's not predictable. It's not sustainable. It's really putting yourself in the right position over and over again and hope that the ball bounces your way a couple times, and that's kind of how turnovers go. Now that is for me the big caveat in this game is Pleasant Grove does have to take care of the ball. They got a little careless last week against Gilmer early on in the game, turned it over a couple times. I think that just pound for pound, if you're looking at tail of the tape matchups, Pleasant Grove is the heavy favorite in this one, but turnovers is something that could quickly equalize that.
Just to switch gears just a little bit for a minute, there's another East Texas team in the playoffs in Pewitt taking on, I want to say Bernard. Is it East Bernard?
East Bernard, I believe, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that matchup.
I mean, Pewitt's been pretty spectacular. I think I picked them last week when you guys put me on the spot. They're again, that's another grind it out and pound you offense. And I think that when you get later in the year, when the weather gets colder, the leaves start to fall off the trees, those type of offenses are the ones that tend to last. So I like Pewitt in this matchup, again, for a lot of the same reasons I like Pleasant Grove. I just think that the road that they had to go to get to where they are now is kind of
comeback last week.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of made them into who they are now.
They're second in the state and the nation in rushing.
Right, they had, I think a couple weeks ago, had like three guys over 100 yards. They were 4-something rushing, and they can pound the ball, and I think that just lasts. That no matter where you go, what neutral field you're on, that offense travels just about anywhere.
Yeah, a strong running game.
Right.
That's what everybody wants to do, is run the football. To switch, like I said, switch gears. What are you expecting out of this game here tonight?
I think it'll be interesting early on to see how the game opens up. So if both teams are kind of hanging back a little bit, I'd like to see if Greenwood's going to come out on the attack and how much they're going to attack, because I think that it is intimidating. If you're a deep passing team and you're looking across at the guys that Pleasant Grove puts on the defensive line and you say, do I want to put my quarterback into 3- and 5-step drops and give them chances to get after him? I think it's interesting. If they open up and come out firing, I think it could get, that could change the dynamic early. It's really going to be who's able to punch who in the mouth early and who's able to sustain it.
All righty. It's Craig Jenkins for Texarkana Game Day, along with Mike Roach from 24/7 Sports, Jay Davis, Tony Langford. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Thanks, guys.
Chuck. Jay, tell us a little bit about this Greenwood team.
Well, they're averaging almost 300 yards a game rushing. That average is going to drop after tonight. Their main running back has 13 games with more than 100 yards rushing. I also think that he's going to end that tonight. I don't think that he's going to have 100. I think team, they're probably going to have 200 total, but I do not think that they're going to hit what they've been averaging this year. The one thing that I alluded to earlier, I am concerned that they're able to force so many turnovers. If we would have said that they've had 14 turnovers, I'm going to go with luck. But when you've got 37 turnovers after 14 games, there's a little more than luck. Those coaches are teaching to punch that ball out and put a hat on a ball just to try to knock that loose. And last week we were a little, undisciplined, being able to put the ball on the turf, threw an interception early. I do think that we're going to have to play a clean game against this team.
I was looking over some stats, and they have two linebackers. Michael Gutierrez, 160 tackles on the year, 86 of those solo. And then they have Riley Butts, 75 tackles. So that's 230 tackles from the linebacker position. And then you have the safety, Derek Reimer, over the top. This kid has 5 interceptions.
I think one of them all but guaranteed a win earlier this week.
You can always guarantee, but there may be that chance it doesn't pay out.
Well, and right after Gutierrez is 5, I believe. There's a guy with 4 interceptions. There's one with 3. So they're able to get to the ball. Being so efficient, though, I don't think interceptions are going to run into us tonight. I'm just more concerned about, maybe fumbling in the running game. Our runners run so hard, and they try to get so much after that first, point of contact, that's when we sort of start, getting a little messy with the ball. I'm thinking tonight we need to get what we can get and get on to the next play.
I think it's going to come down for us with defense, and what I mean by that, their quarterback can throw the ball a little bit too, which none of us have hardly talked about, and I just don't think he's going to have time to do it tonight. I think PG's going to win how they always do, and I think it's going to come down to both lines.
I think we'll probably bracket their wide receiver tonight, and I expect Bingham or Sergio to take one to the house tonight.
Number 11 has 18 touchdowns in the year, so he's something to look for.
He's averaging 22 yards a catch, but I'm thinking no way Coach Fuller is going to allow one receiver to put them out of the playoffs. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of KJ Hicks in the secondary tonight.
KJ will be bracketing him up top, Sergio and Bingham underneath, and I expect Sergio and Bingham to get one and take it to the house.
They do have a very capable quarterback in Weston Wilbur. He has over right at 2,400 yards, and he has 35 touchdowns passing.
Impressive.
I also think he's had more time the season than he's going to have tonight.
Well, if we take a look around, these stands are very much so starting to get packed. We've got both teams inside the helmets about to take the field. Anything you want to finish up on, Jay?
Well, I'm just excited once again seeing our fans come out. I was going 71 and 76 the whole way here, passing a lot of PG stickers, and so I know that we're going to have a full house tonight and be loud.
Tony?
Go Hawks, that's all I can tell you, man.
We still got a little time. You can't just say go Hawks now. Come on, we need some input. We've got Morgan coming back in on the set right here. We're going to slide to the side. Morgan, you want to get in here? We've got greatness back. He's going to make the show great.
Hey, man. Pre-game speech with straight fire. I'm going to post it here in a minute. Be sure to look for it right when we end this feed. Coach Gibson is ready. The Hawks are ready. I'm pumped up.
We were just kind of talking about the matchup. You got anything you want to put in on the matchup?
Well, when I was told they were going to run the I formation, and they do have a good wide receiver, but when I was told they were running the I formation, I kind of laughed a little bit. The kind of offense they run, I'm going to give them 14 points. The only way they can win this game is if they're throwing the ball really well.
It looks really good over there. Every player.
What score you got, Morgan?
What?
What do you think the score is going to be?
Pleasant Grove has not put up any less than 49 points in, I think, 8 weeks. I see another 49-point night. I see them giving up 21. But if you want to watch this live, you can go to TexanLive.com, buy the game. We'll have updates every time someone scores. Hope y'all had a good show without me.
It was great.
Oh, yeah, I bet it was.
Really great.
Anyways, appreciate it. We will talk to y'all soon. We'll see you at halftime. And we have some star power come on halftime, guys. We have Mr. Texas Football. The main guy is going to be on at halftime with us, Matt Stepp. We'll see y'all at halftime.
If you're looking for authentic Cajun-style meats prepared and ready to cook and take home, look no further than Lanyard Specialty Meats. We here at Lanyard Specialty Meats select nothing but premium meats, and we season it to perfection so that you'll have all of Acadiana flavor here in your own home. Come by Lanyard Specialty Meats for all your tailgating needs for this football season or hunting season. Remember,